Warning: this episode contains graphic content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda.
I'm Melissa, and this is Dark and Twisties.
Dark and Twisties is a weekly crime and creepy podcast hosted by two best friends who uncover some of life's twisted moments.
Bringing you a dark dose of serotonin and self-care sprinkled with a little humor, we run you through the facts, all while dropping our unprofessional opinion.
Follow us on Instagram at Dark and Twisties Podcast.
Find us by searching Dark and Twisties on Spotify and Google Podcasts.
And join us as we unravel our latest dark and twisty obsession. This is how we're going to do this. I am going to send you my notes. I don't want you to read forward because I want to send you on a roller coaster. That's what I want to do. I want to send you on a roller coaster.
I'm not going to read ahead.
Because I went on a roller coaster.
Oh no.
Yeah, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to feel everything I had to feel.
I'll behave tonight, but just for tonight.
Don't fucking read ahead.
Okay.
All right, here it comes. Your instructions are in red.
It's just in big, bold red letters. Banter bitch. I love how on the side, all I can see right here is banter bitch, banter bitch,
Banter bitch!
Oh, I love it.
All right, let me adjust myself.
Like your balls?
Yeah, my balls, I was sitting on them.
Oh, I do that all the time.
What we're going to talk about is the 1976 Chowchilla School Bus kidnapping, where a school bus carrying 26 kids and their bus driver disappears without a trace, resulting in one of the largest mass kidnappings in the United States. You ready?
I think so, but
I'm so excited. Okay.
I don't know why when I read that, the Chowchilla, I just thought chinchilla.
Every time that's what I want to say is chinchilla.
I'm not
So the
a giant chinchilla.
1976 Chowchilla School Bus kidnappings.
It must have been a big chinchilla.
Yeah, it was a PetSmart event. All right. In the summer of 1976, Frank Edward Ray, a school bus driver taking 26 children home from summer school, noticed a white van blocking the road ahead. Slowing down to safely get around, three men were wearing pantyhoses over their faces, carrying guns, jumped from the van, and forced Ed to a complete stop, commanding him to open the doors. Afraid of what might happen if he didn't follow their instructions, he opened the door and the three men got on. One of the men forced Ed at gunpoint to leave the driver's seat and head to the back of the bus while another started driving. So automatically, you just think 26 kids, oh my God.
This is my worst nightmare.
Like, after reading this gives me bad bus vibes.
My child has to ride a bus in the morning.
I hope you sleep at night well.
It looks like I'm driving her to school tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Probably. So the three men drove the school bus through a ravine to a dry creek covered in brush where two vans were waiting for them. Still at gunpoint, the men forced Ed and the children to jump from the school bus and into the vans to avoid leaving any footprints. The van was completely dark inside, lined with wood paneling, and had very little ventilation. They drove them around for nearly 11 hours, leaving Ed and the children with no food, no water, no restroom, and throwing up because of motion sickness. Some of the older children attempted to calm the kids down by singing songs like, "If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands," but changed the lyrics to, "If you're sad and you know it, clap your hands," to provide comfort that they were not alone.
That's so sad that they changed the lyrics because they weren't happy.
11 hours. Like 11 hours in a tiny van. You can't see. They're throwing up.
Where were they driving to, or were they just driving in circles?
For 11 hours, they just drove around, and you'll find out why here in a little bit.
We're gonna have to do a case one of these days that's not about men, because the audacity is getting to me.
The audacity is becoming a little bit too much.
It's a little bit too much audacity at this point.
Ed went down first, and one by one each child followed before the ladder was removed and the opening was covered with heavy sheet metal and two industrial-sized tractor batteries. I could not spit that word out.
Which one?
Two industrial-sized tractor batteries. That's a fucking hard sentence. So the hole was a large box truck that had been buried 12 feet underground and was stocked with a small amount of food and water, along with some mattresses. They had built toilets in the wheel wells and installed two large pipes going from above ground to help with the airflow. So 12 feet.
That's more than they even bury people at.
Like they converted a box truck.
And look, just the amount of work it probably took to do that, first of all. So
Oh,
that makes me
yeah.
think that this was something they planned for quite some time.
Oh, for sure. You had to. Like a box truck. Imagine having to dig it out, then getting it in there, and then making sure it's concealed, but leaving an opening so that way you can get in there.
And they built toilets.
Yeah, and they did the toilets in the wheel wells.
I don't like the direction this is going. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, that's understandable. So,
Aw.
yeah, it's understandable. So, back in Chowchilla, back in Chowchilla, the town is quick to realize that Ed and the children are missing. Worried family members and volunteers started driving around looking for any trace of the children or the bus. After hours of searching, the bus is finally located and contains hardly any clues of where the children and the bus driver had disappeared to. I couldn't even imagine waiting for your kid's bus to get there and you're just like, if mine was like 15 minutes late, I'd be freaking the hell out.
Oh, that happened this year already because mine was like 30 minutes late and I was about to call the school and be like, dude, where's my child?
30
Can you
freaking
imagine
no.
11 hours?
Yeah, no way. So the bus has been located, but these a-holes had the children jump from that bus to their vans. There's like no footprints, there's no nothing. So like you find the bus and then you're like, what the heck?
And
All of
there's
them
no
just
clues that
disappeared.
they all got out.
Yeah, no clues. Like here's the bus, but there's nobody on the bus. Like that's
I feel like in my brain, I would instantly go to aliens. Like,
yeah, aliens would have. I would have been like, alien is what you're saying, cause
I mean, maybe everyone's not as fucked up as we are. It's very possible. But I literally
yeah,
would have been like, aliens took my child.
yep.
Because how are you going to know that they even got off of the bus without there being like proof of that?
As smart as like I say the word smart, but I don't mean it in the. You're not cool, bro. You're smart, but you're not cool.
You know, you're an
we
asshole.
we still fucking hate you. But your
Mhm.
brain, because they probably wipe the van tire prints. Like they
There
probably
you go.
dusted those. Yeah, I could not spit that word out. I'm just vibing through life at this point.
Listen, I want to just be vibing through life. I would
Like
love
I'm
that.
like I'm vibing through life. My brain and my mouth are just not. They've not.
They're not connecting yet.
Yeah, they're not connecting yet. They're trying to get there. Yeah, my brain's like, hurry up, bitch. Shut the hell up, bitch.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, so yeah, they probably got rid of the tire tracks.
I commend you on your last brain cell firing, but also
We
fuck
still
you.
hate you. Yeah, we still hate you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still wouldn't offer you water if you were on fire. Just saying.
No, I'd offer you gasoline.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I would offer gasoline if they were on fire, but I don't know, different topic.
That's for another day. Another
That's for
day, another podcast.
that is for a completely different podcast.
Yeah. So, after 12 hours, the conditions inside the box truck became unlivable. The ventilation pipes were not providing enough air, and they were running low on food and water, and the roof was starting to cave in, leaving them with the fear of being buried alive and suffocating. Ed, along with some of the older children, decided to stack the mattresses under the opening to see if they could push their way out. Ed was able to wedge a piece of wood from one of the mattresses under the lid just enough to push the batteries off of the sheet metal, which allowed them to use their hands to dig out the ground around it. They were able to clear enough debris and create an opening where one by one the children and Ed were able to escape. They hiked up to a nearby guard station on the rock quarry where the workers were stunned to see Ed and the children as the disappearance of a school bus holding 26 children, along with their bus driver, had been broadcasted all over the news. Before they could say anything, one of the guards said, "The world's been looking for you," and quickly called the police. As police arrived, they took photos of the children for identification and then escorted them to a nearby jail cell that was large enough to hold them for questioning. The children were placed in a large room while they waited to be examined by a doctor and questioned about their disappearance while it was still fresh. Ed and the children were finally reunited with their families. So, how
Oh.
do you feel now?
Okay, my feelings have changed. At first, I didn't like the way it was going, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, all these kids are gonna die," but they didn't die, so I feel a little bit better.
You
A little
feel,
bit.
I feel a little bit better now. Yeah. So, like, as soon as you hear it, you're like 26 kids and their bus driver just disappeared. You're like, this is not going to end well. Like,
No,
this is not going anywhere good.
as soon as you said 26 children went missing, I did not think they were gonna be able to get out or be found.
Nope. So, police were able to locate and dig up the box truck. A security guard at the quarry noted that he had seen 3 men digging in that area of the quarry for the last couple months, even after hours, but never became suspicious of it. So, 24-year-old Frederick Woods quickly became a suspect once police found out that he was one of the few people who had keys to the quarry and enough access to be able to bury a moving truck without suspicion, along with his two close friends, brothers James and Richard. I'm not going to say their last name because I don't really care and it's hard to say. That had recently been convicted of grand theft auto and placed on probation. A warrant was executed for the property of Fred Woods, where they found a document titled Plan. So, Frederick, James, and Richard were going to kidnap the children and what they would do if anything went wrong. Police also found a Jack in a Box wrapper that was used to write the children's name on and a ransom letter demanding $5 million for the return of the children. So the dumbasses just called it a plan. This is the
I
plan.
I love how it was just titled "Plan." Like, that's it. Just nothing else, just plan. I love that.
Then you think about it, they were digging in that quarry for months, putting this box truck in the floor. And they had to use a Jack in a Box wrapper to write the names on. Like, they couldn't even bring a piece of paper.
But here's the thing that is bothering me. How the hell do you see 3 men digging for months, and you're just like, that's not suspicious at all."
I mean, I guess because it's a rock quarry. Like, what are those used for, actually?
I
Let's
mean,
Google.
granted, I get that, but after hours and you see people digging, that's weird.
Well, it says a rock quarry is a place where rocks, sand, or minerals are extracted from the surface of the earth. So I guess, like, just digging happens all the time there. But after
Yeah,
hours, like, you'd think, what the heck?
yeah,
Like, who digs in the
yeah,
dark? Only people who bury bodies.
yeah, a little weird. But now I see why they kidnapped children. They wanted $5 million.
That's a lot of money though, $5 million. How do you split 5 million though between 3 people without it being like somebody getting something extra?
Somebody would. And they
Somebody
wouldn't all
even
get even. I'm about to
well,
see what 5 million divided by 3 is. How many zeros is there in a million?
that's a good question. I got a very shitty public education, so I'm actually not too sure. I think there's
I mean,
6, isn't there?
I think so. No, wait. No. 9. Or is that billion?
No.
Why are we so stupid?
I don't know. I don't retain important information in my brain. I just retain a lot of dumbass shit. So I'm pretty sure it's ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Yeah, it's six
Yeah,
zero.
it's 6. So they would have each gotten $1.6 million. But it's like
Point
one
six
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 six six six six six point six 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 six. So I mean, there's no way to split that evenly, really. So someone would have gotten gypped.
Somebody would have been gypped for all that effort.
I mean, granted, I want $5 million too, but
Same.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
do
even
that.
know. I don't even know what I would do with $5 million. Like, if you thought about it right now, like, what would be the first thing you'd do?
I honestly don't know. Swim in it?
I think I would buy a naked cat.
Oh, I would buy the ones with the short legs. Oh god, what are they called?
Those are real?
Munchkin cats. Yes, they're real.
That was
They're t
photoshopped.
No, you can get a munchkin cat, but they're very expensive, and apparently
Mhm.
they have really bad health problems because of their small little legs.
I bet they trip on a lot of things. That's sad.
Oliver has short little legs, and he has issues with his skin on his belly because his belly just rubs against the grass all the time. Because he's
Aw.
also very fat, so
Mercedes has long, like, normal cat-sized legs, but his belly, though, it really does hang. That shit drags.
should
When
we
he
really be
runs, it, like,
body
flaps.
shaming our cats?
No, I'm sorry, Jesus.
Jesus, I didn't mean it.
Yeah. So what they had given them though in that hole was like peanut butter, bread, water. I think there was like boxes of cereal. Like they stocked it up with like shitty mattresses and things of water. But I mean, 26 kids and an adult in a tiny ass little area,
Who
barely
haven't
any
eaten.
ventilation. Yeah, I've been throwing up, crying. I bet they're all freaking out, like dirty. Oh my god, dirty.
Ugh.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And they were stuck in a van together throwing up. They probably had throw up. Ugh, no.
Yeah, and then it's hot. They had no idea. They were just coming home from summer school, just minding their own business. And here come these assholes.
That's
Like
I
the
all their parents have
trauma.
heavy trauma bills.
Yeah, like the therapy bills.
Anytime I make plans from now on, I'm just gonna write it on a piece of paper with plan.
When I do my notes, I'm just going to write notes.
Exactly. Like right now, I have notes for my next case. I'm gonna erase everything and just put notes.
Yep, just notes. That's how we find out.
Notes.
What is this? Oh, notes tells you right there. So the three men fled but were quickly captured and taken into custody. They were charged with over 40 felony charges but pled innocent. Police questioned the men on why they never sent the ransom note if that was their plan all along. They said that they tried to contact the police about the ransom, but the phone lines were jammed, so they fell asleep and woke up to the TV broadcast about Ed and the children being found safe. What dumbasses. As I read that, it still just cracks me up. They fell
Their
asleep.
plan. Their plan sounds a lot like a plot in that cartoon Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, this is Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
We fell asleep.
1976. Yeah, we fell asleep. Because it was true. The phone lines had been jammed all day long, but it was due to the worried families and the media contacting the police about the whereabouts of Ed and the children. So the only reason the phone lines were jammed is because you stole those kids.
You would think that if that's what their intent was to get money, as soon as they took the kids, before anybody had a chance to realize they were missing, they would have sent out the ransom letter.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, we have to call. They pick up the phone. They're like, oh, wow, the police station is busy.
11 hours later,
If we don't get it in now, let's just take a nap and talk about it after.
we'll call in the morning. I feel like that's what people do when they like forget to call their doctor the day before and they're like, "Oh, I'll just call in the morning."
Yeah.
No, we'll get our ransom in the morning. It's okay.
We'll get our ransom in the morning. Not a big deal. It's really not that big of a deal. The kids will be
Oh,
fine. We gave them cereal and bread. Little ventilation, not a problem. They're little kids.
it's
Yeah.
cool. Fuck.
So they
Oh
couldn't.
god.
So police also questioned why these three men who had come from wealthy families needed $5 million, and they confessed that they were in debt and needed multiple victims to get multiple millions. So we picked children because children are precious, and the state would be willing to pay the ransom for them. They don't fight back, they're vulnerable, and they mind. We get $5 million, the kids are returned, and the state gets their money back from insurance. It's a win-win for everyone.
I don't think they thought it through.
Oh
You
no.
see, here's the thing. They try to say like, "Oh, they don't fight back," blah blah blah, but it was 3 of you against 26 children and an adult. Those children could have easily ganged up on you.
Yeah, well, there was older kids on there too. It was like 5 to 14. Like the youngest one was like 5 or 6 and the oldest was like 14, 15. These dumbasses literally thought that the state was going to get $5 million back from their insurance because they pay for insurance. Like that's not how that works at all.
Nope, not at all. So, why did they need $5 million then?
No. So what they needed $5 million for, what they spent months digging, getting it all prepped up, writing on a Jack in a Box wrapper, because clearly you can bring a piece of paper, and then falling asleep and forgetting to, send the ransom note off. Yeah.
Maybe they got into debt because of how much money they spent setting this shit up.
Yeah, they were like, "Damn, this is not working out.
They said, "Fuck."
So let's just steal
Ugh,
26 kids and their bus driver."
poor Ed, he deserved better.
He really did. Ed really deserved better. It's gonna warm your heart later.
Oh,
I promise there's a rainbow at the end of this dark, dark,
is it
dark
it's
roller
gonna
coaster.
melt my dark, iced over heart?
It's gonna do something to it. All right, let's get
Oh,
back to this. So,
yeah, we're gonna. Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
So they wanted $5 million. They thought they were gonna get that shit from the insurance. That is not how it works.
Mm-mm.
So, at the trial, Ed and the children gave their accounts of what happened, and Frederick, James, and Richard ultimately pleaded guilty to 27 counts of kidnapping for ransom with bodily injury and received life without parole. However, the sentence was later overturned by an appeals court which found that the physical injuries sustained by the children did not meet the standard for bodily harm due to the fact that most of their wounds were superficial. Ignoring the emotional damage of being kidnapped and buried alive, the men were granted life with the possibility of parole.
Say what now?
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit because whether or not there was actual bodily harm, there was intent because you stuck them in a damn hole and they gave them one little vent to breathe through.
So you might not have caused any physical harm, but there's a lot of emotional damage that comes with being kidnapped and being buried alive. The first judge, when he sentenced them to the 27 counts of kidnapping for ransom with bodily injury and where they received the life without parole, he was like, it doesn't matter. The harm that they got wasn't physical. There's emotional damage, and that there was enough emotional damage for it to be considered physical. Like that trauma was going to keep them from doing normal things in their life. So, like, even if it's just scratches and stuff, there's so much emotional damage that it should still fall under this. They were able to get it to pass like that, but they did the appeals and they realized that it didn't really meet the standard for bodily harm that gave them their possibility of parole.
I will never understand how there are lawyers out there that will fight for people that they know did bullshit like this.
Fuck all that. Going up there and be like, yeah, I know that they kidnapped these 26 kids, put them through fucking hell, made them think that they were going to suffocate, be buried alive, kidnapped. They probably had no idea when they were giving their names and a piece of their clothing. As one's getting out of the van and disappearing into a hole, like, could you imagine how you'd feel? I'd be like, where the fuck are they going? And then I'd be terrified of that hole, but because I don't know where
Right.
anybody's going, but I'm already in here and I don't want to be there anymore. Like, I wouldn't make it. Not at all.
No. Because honestly, if that happened to me and somebody asked for my name and a piece of my clothing, I would be like, that's their trophy. They're gonna kill me.
Yeah, this is it. This is the end.
I
Yeah,
know.
so everything they put them through, it just did not.
Didn't matter.
It didn't meet the physical bodily harm. So they were like, well, you can't do that.
I don't understand that.
That fucking, whoever the lawyer is, I don't know how he sleeps at night being like, well, it's not physical. Like, they're going to be screwed for the rest of their life. They are going to be so traumatized, but they only had scrapes and bruises, so we should actually let these guys go out on parole. Like, you're an
Right.
asshole. Like, how
You're
do
the
you even
biggest
sleep at night?
asshole.
Yeah, how do you even sleep at night?
Ay, ay, ay.
So Richard, he was granted parole in 2012, and his brother James was released in 2015. However, Frederick Woods, who is said to be the mastermind behind all of this, is still serving his sentence and has been denied parole 19 times due to his behavior behind bars. The heir to two wealthy families, who is said to have been worth over $100 million, was caught operating personal businesses from inside the prison, such as a used car dealership and a Christmas tree farm, along with bringing porn and cell phones into the prison. He's also had enough time to be married 3 times and purchased a mansion just 30 minutes away from the prison so his wife could live there and visit. His behavior exhibited behind bars fails to show his willingness to be a law-abiding citizen, and he's not eligible for parole until 2024.
So, first of all, homie's worth $100 million, but wanted $5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys had trust funds. So he's bringing porn and cell phones into the prison. So he probably was like, yeah, I'm just going to, do a Christmas tree farm and a used car dealership, but I got the porn and phones if you need it. What? May I please bring some contraband into the prison? So he's worth over $100 million.
Right. So I'm still confused why they needed the 5 million because like I said, if they split it up, it was like $1.6 million between
Mhm.
the three of them. Homie, you're worth over 100 million. What do you need that extra 1.6 million for?
Yeah, what would stealing the kids cover that your 100 million wouldn't? Or even if, he didn't have access to that.
I'm sure before he decided to be a heartless kidnapper, they were giving him money. So,
Yeah.
because you typically don't get cut off from your wealthy family unless you do something dumb, like, say, kidnap 27 people. But,
$100 million, and he was like, "You know what? I need this 5 million. 26 kids, let's go."
yep, I need that extra 5 million on top of my over $100 million
Yeah.
because gotta make it an even 105.
The goddamn Christmas tree farm's not working out.
That's not even. I don't even know why I just said make it an even
Yeah,
105.
yeah. So, following the kidnapping, the city of Chowchilla threw a parade called Edward Ray and the Children Appreciation Day, where they
Oh,
collected money for Frank's retirement fund and scholarship funds for the children. Frank ended up buying the school bus from the scrapyard as a memento for $500, and he kept it on his property and would start it every so often to ensure it was still working. Frank also collected any of the newspaper clippings he found about the kidnapping, the aftermath, and the trial. He kept the school bus on his property for many years before giving it to an old equipment museum, which is now available for public viewing.
I love Ed.
We love it so much.
I love him. He's so cute. He
Yeah,
bought the school bus.
he wanted to make sure it didn't go to the scrapyard, so he bought it for $500. And his son said that he would go out there and he would start it, wipe down the seats, do everything that he would normally do.
Literally love him so much. I would
Yeah.
die for Ed.
So Frank Edward Ray passed away in 2012 at age 91.
And I'm a little sad now.
I know, I know, I know. The children, who were adults and had children of their own, were able to visit Ed in the weeks before he passed and say their final goodbyes. At his bedside during his final days, his family and a small toy school bus that was given to him by his grandkids. Following his death, elected officials in Chowchilla voted to rename a popular park the Edward Ray Park. In February 26th, in the town of Chowchilla, the day it was named official is now called Edward Ray Day in the town of Chowchilla for his bravery in saving the 26 children riding the school bus with him that day. I feel like I need to put that on my calendar.
Oh,
Ed
I am gonna
Ray
put that on my
Park.
calendar.
Yeah, we need to celebrate Edward Ray Day.
I love Ed. I am gonna celebrate that day for the rest of my life.
And the cutest little thing, he had a small little school bus given to him by his grandkids, and he kept it right there on the side of his bed before he died.
Oh, stop it. I love him so much.
In the interview with his son had said before he passed away that, like, he referenced something about the bus needing maintenance.
See, this is the kind of men we need in our lives.
These are the good ones.
The good ones. I'm very happy that he survived to such an old age. I would have died for Ed.
Yeah, he's even the cutest thing.
I'm gonna Google it. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Ray. Oh, I keep calling him different things, but oh, I love him.
Isn't he so cute?
He's the cutest. Look at him when he was old. Oh my gosh. You're so cute. Look at him on his bus. Stop it, Ed.
One of the girls said that during their time on the bus, she had so much hope. She cussed or she said something bad, and he's like, "Hey, you mind yourself." And at that moment, she thought to herself, "Crap, when I get home, I'm going to be in so much trouble." How he acted gave her hope that she was actually going to get home. That's so freaking adorable. Like, how you just, Ed, you did
I
so good.
like the fact that he's the reason that a lot of those kids probably held on and thought
Yeah.
they were gonna make it. That makes me so happy. Like, it's a sad story, and I hate that those kids went through that, but, like, at least they had him. I just think that's so cute. Like, he kept the bus. He kept taking care of the bus. Like, that's the cutest thing.
It really is.
I love it. I just love you, Ed.
Yeah, we love
R.I.P.
it.
Ed, I love you. Maybe he can drive us around in heaven.
Homie, I don't think we're going there.
I don't either, but listen, I was trying to be,
Wait,
like, optimistic, and you
we have
just
to
ruined it.
listen. I really appreciate your optimism, but we also need to be realistic because I don't think we're going there.
I don't think we are either.
So in 2016, the surviving children settled a lawsuit that was paid out of Frederick Wood's trust fund. Now remember that was $100 million or over $100 million. The
Fuck you,
exact
Fred.
yeah, fuck you, Fred, you stupid. Like Frank's, not Fred's. So
Yes.
the the exact settlement amount was never disclosed, but one of the survivors states that each of the children received a settlement large enough to pay for some serious therapy, but not enough to buy a house. Some of the children have been interviewed by investigative TV shows like Inside Edition, who reunited some of the women that were kidnapped to tell their stories of being kidnapped and buried alive, along with an inside look of the school bus itself. Michael Marshall, who was the oldest boy on the bus that day, tells his point of view of the accounts in House of Horrors Kidnap, the Chinchilla Kidnapping.
The chinchilla kidnapping.
They should have named it that, but they actually named it the Chowchilla Kidnapping.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
Oh my
Enough to pay
God.
for some therapy, but not buy a house. So,
That man was worth $100 million. You could have given them more than that.
yeah, he was like, I'm sorry I kidnapped you when you were younger, but here's $25,000 and a Christmas tree.
The Christmas tree.
Yeah, a Christmas tree. You want a cell phone instead? You want the
I can
Christmas
get you
tree
some porn.
Yeah, you want some porn? Like, I can get you whatever you need.
What is he
100,000.
ever going to do with that money if he's in prison still?
A lot of top ramen and hot Cheetos, I think.
That is a lot of ramen.
There's a lot
You
of
could buy
ramen.
so much ramen. Fuck out of here. Go eat your hot Cheetos and top ramen by yourself.
So that's another one that we need to sit outside of. Like, the day that they put him up for parole, I want to be in that room as well. Be like, who are you? I'm a nobody, but I just don't think this is a good idea. I
Don't
don't
worry
think you
about
should put
who
on
I
parole.
am, but it's my opinion you should care about.
Yeah, like, I'm.
I think this is a bad idea and you guys are dumb. I mean, has he been a good citizen in prison yet?
No,
Or is he still acting like an asshat?
no, that was like in 2018 was his last, like, parole hearing where he was denied. And that was the reasoning behind it.
He said, not today. If you would like to learn more or see pictures related to this case, head over to www.darkandtwisties.com.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Dark and Twisties Podcast.
And find us by searching Dark and Twisties on Spotify and Google Podcasts.
We now have a website you can check out at www.darkandtwisties.com. Bye! You didn't buy with me.
I said bye.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said bye.
We have to do it again, the bye.
Oh, are we saying it at the same time?
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
Are you going to count it down?
Yeah, I'll count it. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Bye!
Bye! That's the best thing ever.
Oh, that shall work.